Ay, this ain't a drill. Only time I'm playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we bout to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. Everyone sick, make them pay me some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and they talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill when we talk about the Bills dominating on the field, and our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill.
What's going on? Welcome back to another live episode of the Podium podcast, home, the all truth, no sodium takes. I am your co-host Aramis.
And this is Keith.
I love it.
What's going on, y'all?
Yo, the look was priceless, bro. You look like you was about to start singing the Temptations. My sweet baby. Listen, we got a very free and open show for y'all today. Hopefully you enjoy it.
I got some goofy stuff.
Yeah,
I got some goofy stuff.
We playing the Colts. It's gonna be a goofy game.
It's gonna be
in
a
general.
goofy game.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think, to a larger degree, I don't really want to get too caught up in the ins and outs of this game, because to me, like, the end of the day, the Bills are going to win this game. Whether it's by 3 or 7 or 47, they're going to win this game.
Ooh, 47.
For me, it's more so of an outlook on two things. Mm-hmm. What the Bills can learn from this Colts game about themselves, and going into preparation for the Chiefs, because I think the Chiefs game is and not saying we're going to skip over Colts talk. We'll talk Colts. Trust me, we'll talk Colts. But I think the Chiefs game is gonna tell the Bills where they are in their playoff preparation. You know what I'm saying? But before we do all of that, I have a statement to make.
This is a serious statement.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've figured out why it bothers me so much when people actually no I can't even say it like that. I think I've reached a realization of why, or I guess I should say I've reached an understanding on how I relate to people who defend Sean McDermott. Which is weird, right? It sounds weird, but check this out. With everybody that's gone through the drought, actually, let me start by saying this. People learn more from pain than they do from any other feeling, experience, anything like that in life. We're designed, the brain is designed to experience pain or danger and lock that in as this is what we need to avoid. It's a defense mechanism that the brain goes to every single time when it comes to the body protecting itself, the mind protecting itself. So
that's why as kids you get that straightening.
No doubt. You learn to fear that authority figure. So I think in all of that, going through the pain of the 17-year drought and then being seemingly rescued from that by this Sean McDermott figure, the fear then becomes, or the lesson then becomes for those people who drew their conclusions from the 17-year drought pain to say, well, if we get rid of Sean, there's a more likely chance, or the only other alternative that they know that has ever existed outside of Sean is drought. Mm-hmm. It's either drought or Sean McDermott. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a little more relatable for people who were fans of the team in the 90s when they were in the Super Bowls. I think it's a much more relatable point to say Sean McDermott's not the guy because they've seen Marv Levy. Mm-hmm. They've seen what Levy's done with great talent. They've been to Super Bowls and they've seen what really elite teams can do, right? Yeah. And so here's how I related my experience, because for me it's fear-based too. For me, it's becoming a fan in the drought didn't bother me. To me, the drought was interesting because I like to build things from whenever you know this, whenever I play Madden, I usually love either a fantasy draft, and usually I like to focus my fantasy drafts on just one side of the ball, like building up one side of the ball, solid, and then the other side I like to draft and develop. You know what I'm saying? Or I like to play with all young players or all scrubs or all, you know what I'm saying? I just love the building process. Or actually, no, that's the complete thought on that one. When it comes to I'll say the experience for me, it was the idea that the team I love is stuck in a freeze frame of mediocre thinking. You know what I mean? I watched Ralph Wilson, no disrespect to Ralph Wilson. I watched Ralph Wilson go year after year after year after year of talking about how, the Toronto stuff was just a drop in a bucket and it really didn't matter when everybody was worried about the team moving. I watched Ralph Wilson, not sign great players because he didn't want to spend the money. I watched Ralph Wilson, be chartered as this hero of the city who kept the Bills here. And yeah, credit to him for doing that. But at the same time, go ask any Bengals fan what's going on with the franchise now, and it's a wreck. Regardless of what we saw last night, it's a wreck because their owner doesn't want to pay people. And so now you got Jamar Chase in the final year of his contract, and who knows if he's going to resign, right? He can get money from anybody now, and he could leave the Bengals for nothing.
Right.
And we watched the same exact thing happen for years here in Buffalo during the drought. So I wasn't even really mad at the drought. I was mad at the decisions of the people in charge during the drought. So for me, it was more about what were the decisions that were being made. I had to watch all these teams. I had to watch the Giants draft their quarterbacks and win 2 Super Bowls and become the greatest quarterback of all time in Eli Manning. And
I was waiting for you to say something to try to trigger me. I knew it. I knew it was coming. And everybody who watches the show knows they knew that was coming too. Like the show if you knew that was coming. Just put a like in the comments if you knew that was coming, because I did.
Right. Steve says, quote, "I like to play with all scrubs." McDermott on team building.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, really.
Actually, no, I can't agree with that.
Really?
No, I can't, because he likes to draft scrubs, but he likes to buy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
he likes to buy vets.
He doesn't develop anything.
Yeah.
He wants to buy somebody that used to be good, is not good anymore, but they'll take your money.
Yeah. Roy says, "Pain. I sat through back-to-back 2-14 seasons in the 80s. I know pain.
I don't want peace. I want problems always."
Right. That's real pain. I get it. But again, for me, it's about the pain that I had from watching people in charge make these decisions. Never mind the fact that the team itself wasn't winning games. I knew the team wasn't winning games because they weren't being empowered to win games. If we're literally sitting here talking about how great the 5-0 start was with Fitz and Stevie and Freddie and all that, like people who lived through the drought, we look at those teams with reverence because it was the best success we had seen in a decade. Longer than that. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think for me with that, it was just the fact that a team that wasn't supposed to do it was doing
right.
it. And that for me, was – I don't even think it was a success thing for me as much for that team as it was like, okay, we got Fitz, who's been on 25 different teams. Right. We got Stevie Jones, who's a 7th-round draft pick. We got Freddie Jackson, who was over in Europe. I think he played for the Rain, Fire, whoever he played for. So it's like, okay, these dudes are over here doing numbers with Chan Gailey, and we were a laughing stock, but we're 5-0. We knew it wasn't going to sustain itself. Right. But, to the point now with McDermott, like I just said, when you spend this kind of money on the people that he's spending money on, you expect results. Mm-hmm. And like Kevin said, that make me want to shout fans actually think he was the chief architect for us getting out of the drought when it was despite him and his silly selections. Peter and anyone?
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that to me is the point. Like, Leak, I'm not picking on you. I don't want you to think I'm picking on you, but Leak says if the Bills get a win on Sunday, it'll be the first time the Bills have gone 8-2 since 1992. That's great. That's great. But we've seen this team have a lot of firsts under Sean McDermott. What has it added up to? Because at the end of the day, Marv Levy has still done more than Sean McDermott has done in this entire tenure. And Sean McDermott, for all intents and purposes, has had better talent. He's had a much better quarterback. Mm-hmm. Like, Josh Allen is going to go down as the best quarterback in Bills history.
2 years.
Easily.
Probably in 2 years.
Yeah, right. Yeah. In 2 years. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, and again, this is not to diminish what the team is accomplishing. But what I'm trying to say is I think my relation to those fans who don't want to get rid of Sean is the understanding of how pain has affected us and our mentality. And there are going to be people that are on both sides of that fence. I get it. I'm not trying to force people from one side to the other. I guess I'm simply trying to now offer an olive branch of understanding for those who think that I hate the team or those who think that I want it all to fall apart and I don't want the Bills to ever have success. I think for me I want better leadership. I want better leadership. I want smart leadership. If you look, and I forgot who I was texting. I was messaging Steve, and I was telling Steve, like, the game last night. Did you notice how easy this season has looked for Lamar Jackson?
I didn't see it last night, but I know he's putting up numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the man is on track to blow both of his MVP seasons out of the water. Mm-hmm. And he's doing it with an offensive coordinator in Todd Monken that is basically just running better route concepts. He's making Lamar Jackson's reads easier. Mm-hmm. The talent that they're putting on offense around him is way better than anything he's ever had. And
is it better than what the Bills had, we'll say, last year, talent-wise?
This year?
Yeah.
100%.
You think theirs is better than what we had last year?
Yes, you know why? Because they just got Deontay Johnson. I think Zay Flowers, both Zay Flowers and Deontay Johnson are easily much better route runners than Gabe Davis. So I think the floor, you know what I mean? The running back is definitely better. Tight ends definitely better.
Definitely. Wait a minute. I'll give you, okay, he's better. But
you're not going to give me Derrick Henry over him, though?
I said he's better. Ease me into this.
Okay, fair enough.
Lord, man. That's 2 for you already. That's 2.
All right. So I'm almost on strike 3. That's 2. All right. So, but yeah, looking at what he's been able to do on offense, it just looks easy. And here's the funny part. For Joe Burrow, it looked like a much more difficult game for him last night. But the dude was still able to ball out because he's got a top 3 receiver in the league in Jamar Chase. I mean,
yeah, I was going to say last night, you just threw the ball up somewhere. I just saw the numbers. Right. He had to be just throw the ball up somewhere, and he's going to go get it.
I literally got 176 points from my fantasy team off of Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and Roquan Smith.
Am I in this league?
Yes.
You're not playing me, though. Good.
No, I'm not
All right,
playing.
So whoever you're playing has lost. They've already lost. Just pack it in. It's over.
I mean.
It's over. There's no way. Yeah, unless somebody else does that.
No, it's probably not. Unless one of the defensive players gets an interception and runs it back 100 yards, then I'm dead beat.
I was mid-swallow.
So in our fantasy league, our defensive players, whenever there's a turnover, like, they get a point per yard that they get off of the, fumble return or interception return, whatever. And I think it's hilarious because at any point in time in the game, the entire landscape of the game can just completely shift.
Can I just point out how pissed off Mac was when he found that out?
That's why he's in first place now. He made it his destiny. He made it his singular focus in life to win the league so he could change the rules. That's why he's in first place right now. Sorry, Roy. Sorry.
No, Roy. No. You don't say sorry to Roy. Look what he put in the comments.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
McDermott for president. You still say sorry?
Oh, no. Okay, never mind. I don't feel bad for that at all.
That.
You earned that one, Roy.
Yeah, he earned that one. Every morsel of that. No, I think Kevin, I want to talk about what Kevin said also. He said, I want you guys to start focusing on the interaction between J17 and McDermott on the sideline. It's getting frosty. Jay is starting to exert authority. Pay attention. Don't get me excited, Kevin.
Yo.
Don't get me excited, Kevin.
I am definitely going to start looking for that
I've been asking for this for 2 years. Don't get me that excited.
So, Kev, is this? I mean, you can answer if you want, but it is because from what they've shown on TV, you don't really get to see too many interactions with Josh and Sean. Mm-hmm. But I have noticed in Josh's press conferences, in his appearances on other shows, it does look like he's stepping more into that role of like, this is my team.
Good.
You know what I mean?
That's what I've been asking for.
Yeah, so I'm seeing that. I've seen some things earlier this season that kind of gave me the impression that Josh is, and I did tell you this too. I think this year is a matter of Josh buying in completely. Okay, Sean, you want me to play a certain way? We're gonna do it. But if it don't work, you out of here, my man. And I'm gonna ask for it because we've done everything you could possibly ask. This team is playing the exact way that you wanted to play, and all we're scoring with everything we have is 30 points a game. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. Just 30. How many points are the Ravens scoring? How many points are the Commanders scoring? You see them with 40 burgers hanging on people. Mm-hmm. Easily. Mm-hmm. You've seen the Seahawks do it. You see the Saints did it 2 weeks in a row at the beginning of the season. Yep. So it's again, the main point of this whole soliloquy that I've gone through now is I understand people's pain when it comes to not wanting to go back to the drought, but I'm here to tell you that getting rid of Sean McDermott does not specifically or mean exactly that we're choosing to go back to the drought. It means we've reached a level where we're used to winning, and now because we're used to winning, we're ready for something a little bit better than just winning.
So anybody that disagrees with you is a hypocrite.
Well, that's why I make these points, is to checkmate people.
Well, the reason why I say that is because what they always say.
What?
You always have a chance with Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, right.
Sean McDermott is not Josh Allen.
Not at all.
So if you're worried about firing Sean McDermott, you believe what I believe. You need more than Josh Allen to win. So one or the other, people. Which one is it going to be? You can't say one and have the other. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I'm of the mind where you need more than that. I'm not saying Josh isn't one of the best at what he does.
Yeah.
But Josh doing the best that he can do is not going to do anything when you have nobody to complete the action, complete the plays. You need somebody to block. You need somebody to receive the ball. Yep. His chief duty is to throw the ball. To who? To himself? No.
Yep.
You know, and that's the thing. You know, when I'm looking at these games now, and I was going to delve into that a little bit, watching y'all 22, everybody wants him to run play action. He sucks at play action.
Josh?
He sucks at play action.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why they don't notice that is because it's a quick out. As soon as he throws a play action, he's tossing it right away.
Right.
Watch his play action. He doesn't sell it for anything. The running back is nowhere near the ball when he puts it out. He doesn't give the illusion that somebody's going to actually receive the ball. Mm-hmm. What he does, he just pump fakes, brings it back in. The defense isn't even drawing in unless James Cook is back there. I watched it with Ray Davis. I watched it with Ty Johnson. Defense don't care. They bite when James Cook is out there. Wow. Only time. So I want people to think about that. When they want him to do everything that he doesn't like doing, I want people to look at under center. What does that mean? It means a play action is coming because it's telegraphing. He only goes under center pretty much when he's doing the play action. Yeah. And if I look in the backfield, I'm like, he's under center. Okay, this is going to be a play action. Who's back there? Oh, Ray Davis. Nah, he's going to throw it. You know, I'm not worried about it.
You think that's because they haven't put on tape that in those plays they will hand it off to? Because I know they've handed it off to.
It might be. But, you know, I think teams do fear James Cook a little more.
Yeah.
He is more dynamic, you know, and you hit it right on the head. This is why you know football. When we talked about why is it that James Cook's runs look a lot harder, you said it. And they're run blitzing when James Cook is in there because you guard your tackle, they double up, you center your other guard doubles up, and guess what? The linebacker comes free right up the free gap where we want Bernard and Dorian Williams to do.
Yep.
But we don't. We don't do none of that. And James Cook has to pay for it every time.
Mafia says play action sucks because he's in shotgun most of the time, which defenders can clearly see he hasn't handed the ball off. Yeah. That's another good point.
That and it doesn't help when the running back's a yard away when he's putting the ball out.
Yep. Yeah.
You got to actually touch his hand with the ball.
Right. Right.
You got to actually play it. You got to sell it.
It's one thing to do what the quarterback is comfortable with doing, and then it's another thing when you can take what the quarterback is comfortable with doing and build an offense that's easy for him to live in that scheme, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm. This team, Josh's entire career, except for 2020 and 2021, where they really invested in building an offense around Josh. And I think a lot of that had to do with the stature or the status of Brian Daboll, who was known widely as an offensive genius. I think those were the only 2 years where you really saw an offense that Josh loved to play in. Mm-hmm. And when you watch those seasons, it looked easy for Josh. Mm-hmm. I think the only thing those years that really made it difficult is he didn't have a complete offense, or I should say a complete offensive scheme, because Daboll's run schemes were kind of wonky. You know what I mean? They didn't have a great offensive line coach, and the way that the offensive line was built at the time was.
You say run scheme, you know what I'm thinking about. There's one player in a run scheme that just makes it fall apart.
You talking about?
He plays for the Giants right now. Nobody fears Devin Singletary.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, Mafia, turn your earphones down, man. Turn your earphones down.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, Steve says as long as you have Josh, window is open. As long as you have McDermott, window will get closed.
He meant shutting. Autocorrect.
Is that what it is? You think he said that word enough times?
I think he might have.
His autocorrect just changed. You know what? I know you're just trying to cuss. I'm gonna just put the cuss word
he might live in the area where they had by taquitos or something. I don't know. But at any rate, Sal must not have heard me screaming this, because Sal said Josh Allen is the only person on this team that has the ability to get McDermott. Get the team to move on from McDermott, and him alone.
No, Sal's been with us for a while, but no, I don't know.
I've been screaming that.
Yeah,
and that's part of my grievance with Josh Allen. He has all the power in the world. Move mountains. He could do whatever he wants. This is not. It was Sean's team until Josh came. Matter of fact, till 2020, Josh came. When 2020 Josh came, the power shifted. Yep. Josh doesn't understand it because McDermott said, "Cover your ears, son. You don't need to hear this."
The balls of the Buffalo Bills are literally in Josh's hands.
Well,
yo.
Buffalo Bills, balls,
hands. Why?
That's plausible.
All I'm saying is Josh has the Bills' balls in his hands.
These. I had to do damage control.
Right. The footballs. You don't think that's what I meant?
He saved you.
Okay.
So serious too.
I guess I owe you some wings or something then. Whatever that's
so.
me. No.
See, I told you. Steve said shutting. My bad. Told you.
Right.
Nah, Steve, you ain't banned. Just don't say it until after 7.
Oh, man. Mafia. The Trig says Singletary couldn't run a wheel route.
Singletary. Okay, we're not going to do this because this could be a whole show.
On what Singletary couldn't do? It was a lot.
I will slander all day long.
Oh, my gosh.
And the thing is, I've met him numerous times. He's not a bad dude at all. But it's just, once again, the Buffalo Mafia love. It sours me on people.
Yeah. Laura says, we'll almost certainly win the division and go to the playoffs. No chance of firing McD before then, so...
Laura, I'm just
shrugging the shoulders. She says, if we win the Super Bowl, we're happy. If not, then we can debate on an HC change. So this is something I find myself telling people a lot that I talk to about the issues with the Bills right now. Mm-hmm. And we can actually just dive into this Colts game because this has a lot to do with it too. So
I have some stuff too. We're going to do stuff too. Make sure we got some time for stuff.
Yes. I'll make sure we have time for stuff.
And also, to your point a minute ago,
everybody
wants Josh Allen to do what he doesn't like to do. Guess what? 2020 was probably his best season. Probably.
He didn't do anything he didn't want to do.
Well, he had 20% of his dropbacks for play action. 20%.
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
20%. Well, he had 62 dropbacks in play action out of 299.
So
1/5 of his dropbacks.
Yeah, just about.
He was fine. He was fine. That's my point. He was fine. And the numbers show. Until it starts working, let him do what he does. And that's what I think. That's why you see him in shotgun. That's why you see him without the play action. That's why people are screaming for him to do something that he doesn't do. Just scream for the result. Don't care how he gets there. And I noticed it about Buffalo too. Can I hit one point?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Because what I'm noticing is everybody is screaming for, what does Zion Lowe's cut mean? What does that mean? We got a roster spot. Oh.
No.
Micah Hyde, do it.
Jalen Virgil got called up.
I know he did. But Micah Hyde, though, do it. I ran some numbers. Why? Why would we do that? I don't want to make this against Marmar versus Hyde, but did you know in Micah Hyde's last year in Buffalo, he had.
You about to make you
I'm about to make a lot of people mad.
Oh my gosh.
37. He had 54 tackles in a full season. Damar Hamlin has 57. Damar Hamlin has 2 tackles for loss. Micah Hyde had 1. They both had 2 interceptions. Micah Hyde had 1 quarterback hit. Damar Hamlin in 9 games had 5 pass defenses. Micah Hyde had 7. Let's see, where else I want to go. They blitzed Micah Hyde 16 times. Damar Hamlin 4. Micah Hyde missed 10% of his tackles. To Damar Hamlin, to this point, 1%. Throwing against Damar Hamlin, 68% completions. Micah Hyde, 70.3. Okay. Let's see. What else do I want to do? Defensive snaps. I'm sorry. Damar Hamlin, 98.3% of the snaps. Micah Hyde, 74.3. My point is not Damar Hamlin is better. My point is stop latching yourself on to somebody that wasn't that great in his last season in Buffalo. Devin Singletary, Micah Hyde. For what? It's time to get better. It's not time to bring the good old boys back like we did with Jordan Phillips, like we did with Carl Winslow. Quentin Jefferson. He looks like Carl Winslow. Guys, go ahead and look it up.
I got to look it up now. I have to.
I got you. Hold on. I got you. But
you going to do it?
Yeah, the thing is, my whole point in bringing this stuff up is you slander Damar Hamlin for what he does. Mm-hmm. And people are actually starting to say he's actually looking decent. Cool. But the point is, why do you want to go back? We should be moving forward to a younger guy. Yes. Try to find yourself another. This is another example of the Bills trying to buy a memory. Stop buying memories.
Yeah.
Invest in your future.
Yep. There's a lot of people talking about, well, when the roster spot was open anyway. Oh, well, maybe that means Hyde's coming back. Stop.
Thank you.
Listen, if the man plays another game and gets one more stinger, he may not be able to walk.
Right.
Why do you want this guy to come back? Like nobody. Oh my God, you right. Oh my gosh, you right. Yo. Did I do that? Yo, this man looked just like Carl Winslow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, 31 years old. I think it's the mustache with no beard combination. Your chin should not be naked. Your chin should not be naked.
He need the chin strap beard.
Yeah, he needs something because right now he just looked like the face number 3 on Madden 22. That's it. Look, wait, here. This is Carl Winslow right there for sure.
Oh my God.
He just got a lot of bling in his ear to make it look different. But no, you're still Carl.
Anybody that walks around with that many earrings and just a mustache,
yeah.
He gambles heavy. He drinks heavy, and he's probably gonna beat you if you his girl.
Yeah, he drinks that Taylor Port too. That's Taylor Port right there. This ain't nothing but Taylor Port.
Yeah, circling his face. Oh my gosh!
I didn't realize I was doing it, so I started circling his face with my mouse.
Oh my gosh, we got a few comments here. Hold on, what I gotta see what you said before. Joe 335 says no one's gonna say it, but McDermott may have just extended his tenure for at least another 7-8 years with another division title.
He said 7-8 years. Oh well.
Woo! Listen, if you think for 1 second that beating a bunch of trash cans in our division for the next 7 to 8 years is enough, let alone for the last 6 to 7 years that he's already been doing it, and that's what's going to be the thing that keeps this head coach here, no, there's no way. There's no way that you're going to let this man that has wasted Josh Allen's entire career to this point continue to see another season after this one if he does not get past the divisional round. I don't care who we play. If it's the Ravens in the divisional round, it could be the 2003 Patriots in the divisional round. If we do not get past the divisional round and we have to deal with yet another excuse of who was injured or who was not, there is not a team in the world that has gone to the Super Bowl and had every last one of their starters completely healthy. Everybody at this point in week 10 is hurt. Everybody from week 3 on is playing hurt the entire season. I don't want to hear any more excuses about what Sean McDermott hasn't had. I don't want to hear any more excuses about any deficiencies within the roster that he himself is freaking built. Joe, I am not yelling at you. I am yelling at those people who stand firm on their belief that Sean McDermott is the solution and not the problem.
I would tell you right now, Airman's promised me he was going to rant on the show, so I guess that was it.
This wasn't even the rant that I wanted to have. But this
I had a
brought it out of me.
You just ruined it.
I can't. And this is not me chasing people off the show that love Sean McDermott. We're here to have a conversation. I need somebody to explain to me in logical terms how any of this makes sense to where we're saying give this head coach another. And I'm only making reference to Joe's comment because that's the most recent content that I have to draw from. But for people to say he deserves another contract or he deserves to have the job for as long as he wants, listen, Mike Tomlin has the job as long as he's had without a playoff win in 8 years because he's already won 2 Super Bowls with the team. Mm-hmm. Now, if Sean had done something like that, okay, I don't have a problem with that. But rescuing us, heavy quotations, because I don't believe that was the case at all, from the drought of 17 years, to me, is not enough to have done everything that he's done. You know what I did? I made a list.
You flustered.
And I'm continuing. I'm gonna continue to add stuff to this list for as long as I can until it really truly lists everything that I think Sean has afflicted upon us. Right? We have obviously the most famous thing is the 13 seconds game. Right? The Eagles game, the call before halftime. We've got the Tyler Dunn report, everything involved in there, from chasing out Chad Hall, from chasing out Brian Daboll, chasing out Leslie Frazier, and all the other staff and coaches that he's chased out of the building because they didn't want to acclimate to his specific personal culture that he wanted everybody to live their entire lives by. You mean to tell me that a player can't buy a coach a truck because he appreciates how this coach has helped his career at the NFL level because you're offended and you want that kind of relationship with the players and can't have it? That's the only reason that a move like that, like in the Tyler Dunn report, it specifically states that Sean McDermott was pissed off when Chad Hall, when the receivers bought Chad Hall a truck, right? He then changed the work hours for Chad Hall, knowing that Chad Hall had a young child, changed the work hours to make Chad Hall stay later and come in earlier. So now you forcing this guy to be away from his family more. Why? Because you're offended? You think the players and the coaches are not focused on the game? Oh, if y'all got time to buy trucks and stuff, then y'all got time to be friends, then y'all ain't focused on the game.
When did this happen? What year?
This would have been Gabe Davis's first year.
So that's what, 2020?
Yes.
That's why. It was a drought season. They weren't making cars. He couldn't get a new car.
Oh, my God.
He needed a vehicle.
It was COVID season.
It was COVID season. The lots were empty. They were barren. He had to walk to the joint. You know when they were doing the snowmobiles, people were driving snowmobiles over concrete just to get McDermott to the stadium. I'd be pissed off too. This man right in. How he get that? How they obtain that for him? I want the vehicle. I'm the head dude. Why I got to ride on the back of a bicycle?
These are not the kind of rants we need on the show, Keyshawn.
True. You're right.
So, I mean, on top of all that, not drafting a number 1 wide receiver in the first round ever, not surrounding Josh with real weapons, taking 7 years to finally get the offensive line to a point where it can run block better, better and protect Josh just a little bit better. You can still tell Josh doesn't completely trust the offensive line, and why should he? It's not an offensive line that's built with any kind of schematic plan in mind. You just got a bunch of guys, and you're trying to get them to do whatever you think they can do the best together. So you know what I mean? So
and I can tell you, Deion Dawkins he's getting old, and this is not a preconceived thing where I was waiting to say, but I watched an All-22. Chop Robinson he was looking like Elvis Dumervil out there.
Yes.
And I think Chop was like 6'2", 6'3", so he's not a small guy, but the fact he was getting small and Dawkins was punching air most of the game.
Yep.
If you notice, Dawkins is, I think, 4 inches shorter, 5 inches shorter than Spencer Brown? Spencer Brown's pad level was considerably lower than Deion Dawkins before they snapped the ball. His stance is more complete, more accurate in terms of what you're supposed to be doing as a tackle. Dawkins, he's grading out as one of the worst. I think he is graded out in PFF as the worst pass blocker on offensive line. So, I can see it. Now, this is the question: would he be best served on the right side at this point?
Deion Dawkins?
Yeah.
No, you got to put him at guard. Put him back to the position that he played in college.
Well, be that as it may, because David Edwards to me is not great at all.
Right.
It feels. I know they're not going to usurp Spencer Brown, especially if they give him a contract. But it feels to me as though they want him to play tackle. And
Dawkins?
Yeah. Well, obviously we know they want.
They gave him the contract.
Right.
He's got that for at least another 3 years. I
3
think.
years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, Shady McCoy talked on the facility about one of his interactions with Sean. Did you hear that?
Not recently, right? This is a while ago.
Yeah, no.
I didn't hear this recently. I heard him talk about it before, but I didn't hear it recently.
So he talked about his last year in Buffalo, and he talked about how the offensive line was trash. He said it was a bunch of scrubs in front of me, and I was pissed off. I was visibly pissed off. They were making reference to DJ Moore walking off the field on Caleb Williams during the game. And he talked about how frustrated he was that season because, he's playing behind scrubs, his numbers wasn't looking right, and he knew he wasn't going to be able to do it behind these guys. And he said Sean called him into the office and said, hey, man, we've been watching tape, and, man, it looks like you're not engaged. It looks like you're not, focused. Are you still with us? And Shady, I almost wish I could play the clip. Shady said, because he said at this point when he's hearing all this stuff, he was getting pissed off. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so he was saying, he said, what did my numbers look like last year? What did I make a Pro Bowl? Did I, was I an All-Pro? And Sean said, yeah. And he goes, so what do you think the difference is between last year and this year? And and as soon as Sean started to talk about what, something other than the offensive line, Shady said he just walked out on him. Mm-hmm. And that explains a lot because I don't think anybody really had a good enough reason in the media at the time as to why Shady was, let go from the team.
And that's why I can't stand Frank Gore. Honestly, that's why.
What do you mean?
And it has nothing to do with Gore, not the son, the father.
Junior.
No, the father.
Oh, okay.
Because what it is Shady was our bell cow. He was our bell cow before.
Yeah.
Under Rex, he was that guy. He should have been that guy under Sean McDermott. But you could tell the culture wasn't for him. You could tell something was off.
Yeah.
And they brought Frank Gore in order to help Devin Singletary, which Shady helped recruit.
Right.
And as soon as they got Gore, what they do? Bye-bye, Shady. You're done.
Right.
Cut. Excuse me? And I'm watching these two dudes, and the thing about it, what people don't realize about me, why I push back on Ray, and I thought about this, why I push back on Ray Davis and Ty Jones over James Cook. Because to me, and Roy, you can keep your ears open, and listen, be mindful here. Why I don't like Fred Jackson much as a lot of people do is because Fred Jackson was that try-hard, fall-forward guy. I always wanted that guy with the wiggle that could go short to long real fast. Mm-hmm. And by getting rid of Shady McCoy, now we have Devin Singletary and an aging Frank Gore. That's going out the window. So I'm like, we're back to the BS that I don't like. It's boring running to me because I like watching a running back, a dynamic running back. Right. And at that time, Derrick Henry's and people like that, they're breaking them.
Yeah.
We saw CJ2K. We saw these things. They're breaking them.
Yeah.
CJ2K said James Cook is like, he's scary. He said he's scary. So, I'm sitting here like, okay, why do I want to revert back? Yeah, Ray Davis does run you over. Ray Davis does break tackles. But guess what? He doesn't have that wiggle like Cook does. He doesn't have that missability like Cook does. And I like that aspect. And all the talk about Himbo and all, yeah, I'm just making fun of it a little bit, but at the same time, that's the running back style I really appreciate.
Yeah.
And as much as people talk about how much he drops the ball, he's had 2 drops, missed three catches, 3 passes on 22 attempts. Right. I'm fine with that.
Not that bad. It just happened that those catches probably could have been touchdowns.
Should have been touchdowns. 2 of those could have been touchdowns. No, I get it. It's true. But the thing is, it's boom or bust. And a lot of times when you get those kind of guys like that dynamic, they're called dynamic for a reason, because dynamic means that sometimes you're way up here, sometimes you're never right here. It's never consistent. You're going to go off or you're going to go to the bench. Yeah. It's just as simple as that. But I like hedging my bets to where we're going to get a boom play right here.
Right.
And like you said, with Shady, I'm thinking about Shady in terms of what Jamar Chase said last night. He made a comment in his post-game presser where he said something about, yeah, of course, as a number one, you always want the ball. And you always think you should get the ball, and sometimes Joe don't see it. What would McDermott have said if somebody on that team would have said that about Josh? Josh ain't see me. Josh ain't looking. What kind of culture would that be? We'll never get a player like that. Right. Buffalo, you will never see a Jamar Chase in Buffalo again. You will never see a Stephon Diggs even in Buffalo again. You will never see
as long as Sean is
again. And as long as Sean McDermott is here.
Right.
Now, if you're happy with the lineup we have on Saturday or Sunday, where it's looking like it's going to be Jalen Virgil, Khalil Shakir, and
they called up Shakir. I'm sorry, I thought my brain.
Shavers.
Forgive me. Yeah, I thought you were saying Shavers. Yeah.
No, and the third one is what? Is going to be Cooper probably, maybe, because Keon Coleman's out.
I don't see how he ain't practiced in full at all this week.
And, can we go there too?
Yes.
I wanted to finish this thought. But the thing is, under McDermott, it's okay to have Jalen Virgil, which to me is a guy that you could develop to be a bottom of the roster playable person. In college, Appalachian State, he was good enough. He didn't get drafted, but he was good enough. But that's not a starter. Where's Chase Claypool? Where
Steve been asking for Claypool since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, where is he? I said it's got to be an injury settlement thing.
Well, Capaccio said that it should be about the time where that settlement is up.
We're in that window. Yeah. So I'm thinking practice squad, something.
Yeah.
Because you figure right now, when you look at Curtis Samuel in the game on Sunday, I saw a guy who had a comeback, the one that got batted down. He couldn't stop and turn. He couldn't brace it and come back for the ball.
Yeah. His
foot is bad. Amari Cooper, do you really want to be here? I'll go more on that in a second. Keon Coleman's out. Who's playing? But you hamstrung us to this. This is what we have.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, thinking back on the Claypool point, I think to a larger degree, one of the reasons that we saw the footman become the number one receiver.
He's limited.
Right. Everybody is. Yeah. Everybody is. And it's sad because we used to have the our trainers used to be like revered as, the Bills players never get hurt.
Right.
To now, nobody can stay healthy. All of our impact players seem to always get hurt in some way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. And I think a part of that is a lot of these players are playing out of position or playing a number of reps that their body is not built to play. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If these guys are just average players and you got them playing elite level reps and stuff like that, that takes a toll on the body they can't handle. Matt Milano. Mm-hmm. It takes a toll on the body. Terrell Bernard. Mm-hmm. It takes a toll on the body. James Cook. You know what I'm saying? Like it's for me. I think the whole reason why Mac Hollins is here and Claypool is not is personality.
Oh yeah,
you got Mac Hollins here, who's this wholesome dude, and I don't hate Mac Hollins for this. He is who he is, and people love him, and I respect that. But when you make that a priority over talent, mm-hmm. that's when it becomes an issue for me. I can't get behind anybody that's looking at both of those receivers and saying to any degree that Mac Hollins should make the team over Chase Claypool at any point in time. I don't care how hurt Chase Claypool is. You leave the man on the roster. You let him keep getting those mental reps and being in the film room and learning the offense and all that kind of stuff so that when he comes back, he hits the ground running. Now, not only do you have your downfield option because he's got speed, but you've got that same impact player that you want Keon Coleman to be, and you got a guy that's been doing it at the NFL level his whole entire career. So guess who Keon can pull from and talk to, and you know what I'm saying? So I think that in itself was probably the biggest reason why they didn't want Claypool here, because Keon is Keon. Keon ain't shifting, he ain't changing, he ain't smiling for nobody that he don't want to shift, change, or smile for.
And I don't want him to.
Right, exactly. But I think for Sean seeing that, he's like, okay, we drafted this kid. He is who he is. But if we have a whole nother player like Claypool on the team who, based on his talent, he's one of the best receivers on the team already, you know what I'm saying? Based on talent alone, he should have been the number one receiver. Claypool should have, in my opinion. You'd have Claypool and Coleman as your 1 and 2, and then you can put Samuel wherever you want to put him and keep Shakir in the slot. And to me, you should have been good.
I mean, you think not you, but I want the Podium podcast family to think about it. Do you think that Coleman would be mad about that? No.
What up, Beth?
He wouldn't. I mean, you think about it. You're number 2, you're number 1 in a positionless offense. You'll say.
Right.
We're both getting the ball. They double him up, I'm getting it. They double me up, he's getting it. But we're gonna wreck shop together. They want to win.
Exactly.
You know, and that's the mentality you got to have. And like you said, Mac Hollins does deserve to be on the team. I will say that he deserves it. But
as the main special teamer though, like not as a receiver.
I would say I would give him as a depth wide receiver.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. You know, he's got what 4 touchdowns this year, I think. And I mean, pretty much every catch he's hauled in this year has been a first down. So he's definitely a chain mover and he's getting touchdowns. So Josh does look at him. He likes him. He trusts him. Obviously, from what game was that? The Houston game.
Yep.
But, you know, the fact remains, everything doesn't have to be because of likability. You'll adapt when you start to win. Winning solves a lot of stuff.
Man, listen. Look at where the Bengals are right now in terms of their locker room situation. Nobody wants to be in Cincinnati right now. But because they have a Joe Burrow, because they have a Jamar Chase, and because of all the games that they've won when everybody's healthy, it's hard for people to leave that team. The only reason they leave is because the owner just won't pay them. But who can I point? I mean, listen, we've had an iteration of the Bills here that's gone through that. The bickering Bills in the 90s were making Super Bowls, and they all fought each other in the locker room half the time. So we don't really need to go into a whole slew of examples. We know winning solves everything.
I can give you one, the best one. The Bad Boys. Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer.
Oh, my God. Taking it to basketball.
I mean, seriously.
You're right.
Isaiah Thomas broke his hand on Bill Laimbeer's face in practice.
Yeah.
And they won championships.
Right.
I don't need you. You have to learn how to play together. I don't need you at kind of Gerber's house making pizzas. That's fine. Right. Send me one. I want to try it. Right. But at the same time, I don't need that. I want, like I said, I'd be a hypocrite if I said I want them to love each other off the field, but I don't need them to do anything on the field because I told you. I don't care what they do off the field.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't unalive people. You can't be doing hard narcotics, things like that.
Yeah.
But outside of that, whatever.
I think by the end of this episode, hopefully I've convinced everybody that the focus needs to shift to Terry Pegula. I mean, for us to be in this position now, I understand at the very beginning Pegula being sold on the idea of family and camaraderie and culture and all of the things that Pegula was looking at Robert Kraft having in New England. I get it. That culture in New England was winning championships. But guess what? Mm-hmm. Everybody in that joint was miserable.
Right. Yeah.
Like players would just leave just so that they could feel what it would feel like to love playing football again. And they would go to other teams and they would lose. They would never see success. Coaches, players, everybody that's left New England never had success. Never. Right? But they won with the Patriot way. And I think to a degree, Sean played on that. Sean went into the interview and he sold Pegula on the idea of bringing that type of culture here to Buffalo and establishing a team that was a perennial a playoff contender and a perennial Super Bowl contender. And Pegula just saw all the stars and felt all the feels and just said, you know what, whatever you want, do it, make it happen. Right? And it just so happened that the Bills back into a playoff berth his first season. Solidify the dream at that point. Right? But if Pegula is really taking a realistic look at what's going on, and I'm actually glad that a portion of this team is now owned by Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter, and the other guy, because
Altidore.
No.
Josie Altidore.
Oh, Altidore.
Altidore.
Oh, okay, the soccer player.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. So I think to a degree, these players know what real winning looks like and what good decision making looks like. You know what I'm saying? And I think now Terry Pegula has somebody in the room with him that can look at what's going on and say to Pegula, it kind of, I'm looking at the league and looking at, what everybody else is doing. It don't look like he know what he's doing all like that in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're getting closer and closer and closer to the point where this kind of falls apart the way that it needs to. And I don't want the Bills to start going through, 2-14 seasons again or anything like that. But I think the second you release Sean McDermott is when you open the door for every single coach in the NFL clawing, scratching, throwing money at you to just have a chance to coach Josh Allen and this offense. It would easily and instantly become a job that would attract anybody in the world. Name it, right? And for us to just pretend like Sean McDermott is better than all those other options out there, I don't understand how somebody could say that with a level of sanity that allows them to walk around in society freely. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense. Really quickly, because we're almost at 7:00 now.
It's only two of us. We doing well.
Yeah,
we doing well.
I miss my boy. He getting laid in Honolulu out there, but let me see.
That was hilarious. He had his two teenage sons here, and they were like, "Whoa, yo!" We're like, you know.
That's just crazy that I didn't know what you meant. I thought you
Didn't know.
I thought I was like, wait, hold on now.
They literally say that. When you got the plane, they literally say that. They put a lay on your neck. And you're like, I got laid. That's literally what they do. See? Wait till you turn 40. You be like, the knowledge bank is going to unlock for you. It's going to unlock. It's going to be a plethora of stuff. You be like, yo, why do I know this? But you're going to have it. And you're going to thank me for it. I'll only be, 59? Yo, chill out. Pause.
I want to get to this comment really quick.
That whoa just with a pause. Right? Go ahead. Hey.
Thomas DeLaus, what's going on, man? He says, you are also conflating McDermott having a positive environment and a lack of success. They've run head first into the best head coach, quarterback, tight end combo of this generation. It happens. Everyone has struggled. Yes, that is true. That is very true. However, when you look at what the Cincinnati Bengals did, they built an offense that could score on anyone. And their offensive-minded head coach broke through where nobody else has this entire iteration of this Chiefs team. So when I'm looking at their quarterback, who I think is not as good as Josh Allen, but has better weapons and a much better coordinator, I'm sorry. To me, if I've seen them beat the Chiefs in the playoffs in KC and then go to a Super Bowl and almost win the thing, I mean, they lost to a guy who's going to make the Hall of Fame. Matt Stafford is going to be a Hall of Famer. So I can't look at the Bengals and say, oh, you guys suck. You should have won that game. They almost did. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
They got there.
Right. That's my point. That's my point. Somebody broke through. Well, okay, the team that broke through, what did they do? Well, they have 2 number 1 receivers on their team. Right? Yeah. At that time, their offensive line wasn't great. It was decent.
Who was their running back?
Exactly. They had an all-star or Pro Bowl caliber running back. Mm-hmm. So you got your 2 number 1 wide receivers, a Pro Bowl caliber running back, and oh, by the way, their tight end wasn't terrible. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, okay, we saw a team do this with offense. We saw the Chiefs do it with offense. By the way, the Ravens are doing everything they're doing this year with offense.
Because their defense is not good.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. All these teams that we've seen make the Super Bowl and be elite and beat the Chiefs. I mean, the Ravens should have won that game, right? They lost on a toenail, but they did it with offense. Their defense didn't shut the Chiefs down. Their defense can't shut anybody down this season. And the same thing with the Bengals when they beat the Chiefs. They just happen to have a good defensive coordinator that knows how to draw up plays on, not on the spot, but knows how to draw up plays to stop teams. Listen, that Bengals defense shut Derrick Henry down last night.
Yeah.
We couldn't do that.
No.
They did it.
They had, what,
with the
67
defense.
yards?
Huh?
You remember what, 64 yards or something like that?
Right.
Yeah.
So if they can do it with what is widely regarded as a terrible defense, and our defense has been great the entire time that Sean McDermott has been here, and we've gotten nowhere near as far as they have in the playoffs. So I think that's why I'm able to say what I'm saying. I don't think I respect the point of us running into the Chiefs. And I think to this point, if nobody had broken through, if nobody had gotten past the Chiefs to this point, in the way that for what, a 5-6 year span, nobody was getting past the Patriots, then I could say, okay, you know what, it's everybody. Yeah. But Ben Roethlisberger broke through, Peyton Manning broke through. You know what I'm saying? So we've seen what successful teams do, and I just haven't seen the Bills do that.
To that point about the Chiefs in particular, it's been an albatross. It's been on McDermott's mind. He's played the same team in the same environment. How many years in a row? In the same situations. He built his team to beat that team, and you couldn't pull it off. Right. Nobody knows them better than you. Even some teams in their division don't know them as well as you know them because you studied them. You ate, you slept, you know the rest. The Chiefs. To the point where you disregarded the AFC East, you just happen to be in a bad division. But had this division been good, you wouldn't have to worry about the Chiefs.
Right.
Like you were talking about the Jets. You thought the Jets, it could have happened.
Yeah.
Because he's still infatuated with the Chiefs. And let it be 2 more times against the Bengals, he'll be infatuated with them.
Yeah.
Which play a completely different way. So how do you build your team then?
You know what's funny? Did anybody watch the game last night thinking, yeah, I want the Bengals in the playoffs? I don't want to see that team. Even with just Jamar Chase, I don't want to see that team. I'm sorry. So Thomas is saying Bengals also got to the Super Bowl because Mahomes had the worst second half of football in his entire career, and then Burrow pissed down his leg in the Super Bowl. It's a fair point.
Possible.
It's a fair point. Seriously. Here's what I think about that. I think the game in which Burrow beat the Chiefs, it's possibly semantics to even argue that point to begin with, because the two perspectives are Mahomes didn't play well or the Bengals made Mahomes not play well. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't want to get into a debate about that, but I think the conclusion or the root point in all of that is they still made it past them. However you want to say it. Like, Jeremy White was talking about coin flips in overtime, and the look on Baker Mayfield's face when he lost the coin toss. He knew what was coming at that point. Something as fickle as a coin toss can decide the fate of a team. You know what I mean? So that's part of the reason why I don't really want to get caught up into who played bad and who did. It could just be the defense made them play bad. I mean, we've seen games where Josh didn't have a great game, and Josh would be the first person to say, "Well, it was on me," right? And ultimately, what that means is, I was affected. You know what I'm saying? And whether it was internally in me being affected or the environment around me being affected, I think both play a part in how a player plays in a game. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think for Josh and who had a comment.
Yep.
Lee said honestly, you can't trust Pegula with critical decisions. With this team looking at how the Sabres have been mismanaged over the years, I agree 100%. I've said that. Everybody talks about how Pegula can do. I don't trust him. I don't want him I want him to give us the money. That's my sugar daddy. You got nothing else. Just give me the money. When I ask for it, you give me something. You know, and I think that's how the Bills have to run because they clearly don't have anybody in place right now that's proven they know what they're doing. Everybody thinks Bean, but Bean has been an associate GM until he got to Buffalo. Bean never had to hire a coach. You know, McDermott has had a pipeline of quarterback coaches that come up. So I guess Ronald Curry's the next OC. When I saw an article, Joe Brady's probably going to be out of here earlier than people think. Good. I don't care. I mean, it's not like he's doing anything earth-shattering, groundbreaking in Buffalo right now anyway. You know, if somebody wants him, God bless. But, you know, to your point about Josh Allen and like Tom said, when it comes to what did he say?
He's talking about the Bengals. Here it is. He said Bengals also got to the Super Bowl because Mahomes had the worst second half of his football in his entire career, and then Burrow pissed down his leg in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean Joe Burrow, he might have did that in the Super Bowl, but Joe Burrow had our number twice. You know, people say that you know everybody was affected by. Come on. You know, I mean, yeah, okay, it's traumatic, but. If you're not going to do it, I had my last girlfriend said, I used to play basketball all the time. And, I mean, I'd be the best person on the court, and I didn't even try. And I'd sit down between, she'd be like, yo, if you're not going to try, why are we here? Why are you wasting my time? Like, what do you mean? We just won the game. I know, but you're not trying. You know, if the guys are going to be out there, why not just mail them in? Forfeit. Since you're so affected, you're so afraid of that field, so afraid of that situation, forfeit. Right.
No, I won't do that. But when we lose, we'll use the excuse that, oh, no. You know, we just had so much on our minds. And, no, get out of here with that.
Right.
Miss me with that. Your cleats weren't thinking about that. You were slipping and sliding all over that field. You couldn't even figure out your equipment. You weren't prepared. Just say that. You know, for Josh, that's the point I wanted to make. Josh, when he throws an interception, I want to be like, I want that face.
Oh, I get it. Like,
touche.
Right.
Watch this.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And that's something that Kobe, all the greats do that. Michael Jordan, when they bested him. Kobe, when they bested him. Tiger Woods, they bested him.
Okay, I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back.
Hey, you got me once. Watch this.
Right.
You know, it's just a swagger about you that it plays a mind game with the opponent.
Yeah.
I thought I had you. Look over there. He's like, and I still remember watching Tim Kelly pull out one strap off his day after he throws an interception. They had a two up there. He just pulled a one and he snapped it up here. He pulled it up and just snapped it, folded it over. It's weird. But I remember, you know, him just getting angry and just dang near pulling that thing off his helmet. I'm like, that man's angry.
Yeah.
You know, Josh is like, it's in between. He doesn't have that cockiness, but he also doesn't show that anger. Maybe he's a better person internalizing it. I don't know. But, you know, the thing of the matter is you have to do something to rally the troops. That's why in basketball, sometimes head coaches take technicals. We won the other night. We got toasted by 16 to Oklahoma City. We're number 9 versus number 1. Toasted. Yeah. The coach took a technical foul. Guess what? We came back and won that sucker. Russell Westbrook played out of his freaking gourd. But that's what happens sometimes. It takes one instance. It takes one motion, one symbol, one signal for your team to say, you know what? We rocking with that. We don't care about the personal foul Keon Coleman that he had on the sideline when he tossed the dude into the bench. We don't care about, you know, the unnecessary roughness on Dorian Williams because he smashed the heck out of Tyreek Hill. We don't care about another team. We don't care about Jordan Poyer running right through. Yo, he angry. Something's up. I like it. That's the fire you have inside of you. That's called lighting a pilot. Yeah. And your captain, everybody's looking at Josh. You have to light the pilot. And that's what I'm looking for out of him. I don't need him throwing stuff. I don't need him, you know, crying and all that. I need him to light the pilot. Right. And you can see it in other players.
I think to a degree, his job now is doing what he's asked to do until it doesn't work, and then he's got to light the pilot at that point. Right. I heard a stat that Josh only has, I think it's like 4 or 6 completions of over 60 total yards. That's catch and run. 60 total yards this season, right? And I think Lamar Jackson has more. Joe Burrow has more. There's a bunch of quarterbacks that have more than that, right? And as this was being discussed, what came out of this was how those completions happened. Every last one of them, except for the completion to Coleman. So except all of those except for one were Josh breaking out of the pocket and making the defense respond and then hitting somebody open downfield. And that to me is I guess it kind of makes clearer what we've been talking about in terms of what this offense is. I think Mafia said something to the effect of he's not sold on Brady. I think the focus is not Brady so much as it is, Sean having the offense, the kind of offense that he wants. We discussed this before on Mafia's show that we've already seen proof that Sean, the last 3 years alone, has had a heavy influence on the way the offense looks. And I think this year is no different. I think Joe Brady's job is just to try and do his best to give Sean what he wants and still have an effective offense on top of that. And when you have a Josh Allen, falling into that fold and trying to make do with that, and then when that doesn't work, when that efficient offense doesn't work and he's got to make a play, it's either a 50-yard or 60-yard play or nothing this season. That's really what it's been. Either he's getting the ball downfield and it's an explosive play or nothing. And that's not the kind of Josh Allen play that we've seen his entire career up to this point. It's been, we get at least 2 to 3 huge plays in a game. And the expected points on those types of plays alone almost undoubtedly equal a touchdown on those drives. Whenever you have a big play like that, the percentages skyrocket, that speak to you're going to score on that play. You know what I'm saying? So for me, the idea of an efficient offense should only be implemented when your quarterback is limited. When you watched Tom Brady play, he was not a Josh Allen, right? You needed to put him in a position where he could be a pocket quarterback and still run an offense that and part of this was Belichick was a defensive-minded head coach too and didn't want to take those chances. All defensive-minded head coaches, usually want that style of offense to kind of match what their defense is doing, because 9 times out of 10, the case is they want to win games with their defense, right? And what we're seeing this year is we're seeing an offense with Josh Allen that is still scoring 30 points a game, even with the restrictions of this efficient, this pro-style offense that they're running. And to me, I think that speaks more to Josh Allen's skill, talent, and ability to operate this offense in that way than it does to the talent that they've put around him and Joe Brady being there. This is how freaking elite Josh is. The fact that he can score 30 points a game with this system, this coaching, this talent level on his team. I mean, what we're going to see in this Colts game, and I titled the episode, what we will learn from the Colts game. One of the first things that we're going to learn from this game is how I wrote it down. Let me just go to it. Let me see. Okay. Can the Bills win a game with Kincaid as a primary option? That's what we're going to need to find out, because the secondary technically sucks, right? And we thought a few of the other teams that we played this year sucked. We thought the Dolphins sucked. It didn't look like they sucked last week, right? No. So we know the temptation is this week. Coleman is out. I'm pretty sure Cooper is going to be out. I can't imagine him still playing. He hasn't had a full practice all week long. But
he plays to be a decoy mostly anyway.
Even if he is there. So Shakir is going to get all the attention, right? And Kincaid happens to be the most targeted receiver on the team. Notice I said receiver. Yep. Right?
At this point, he receiver put his hands on the ground. That's what he is.
Right.
He's not a blocker, so he's not a tight end.
Right. So he's the most targeted receiver on this team, yet what kind of impact has he had so far?
I haven't seen
for a first-round pick.
Game, I haven't seen one.
Right. So I think this is a game where you need to see if that's something that you can even beat a bad team with, because if you struggle against the Colts offensively and Kincaid is not going off for 100 yards off of, 7 catches and 3 touchdowns, like, the offense needs to run through him in this game. The Colts have 2 good linebackers, right? But if Kincaid is supposed to be elite, he'll make plays against those guys. I don't want to count on Jalen Virgil and Mac Hollins to make plays for me on the outside. I can't. Even against this secondary. I mean, those receivers are not hard to cover. They're not. So, for me, one of the things that I'll learn is, can Kincaid carry this team as a primary option? Because in the playoffs, guess what? You're going to have to count on him. Shakir's not going to be able to get it done the entire game. You're going to need a secondary option when teams decide to take away Cooper and Coleman can't be relied upon because he's a rookie. Right? Second thing is, can the Bills win with an outside run game?
Can they?
Can they? That's going to be a good question. We have not seen this Bills team do a lot of outside runs. Most of the stuff that they do, especially with Cook, is inside zone runs. Right? They get those double teams going, and they create a lot of space for Cook to kind of decide where he wants to go and then fire off. And that's cool. But you're not going to be doing that against DeForest Buckner and Stewart.
They need to scrap the gap. I didn't even mean that like that. I literally
it worked out.
It did, but they need, because honestly, especially for James Cook, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for any of them. The only reason it works for Ray Davis because he bulldozes. He gets you 3 yards after getting hit after 1. James Cook gets you. I mean, like that play inside the 5. It wasn't much, but he got hit behind the line of scrimmage and willed his way, put his hand down, and pushed the pile. Little bitty James Cook. You shouldn't have to do that.
Right.
Shouldn't have to. And that happens because of these gaps that they can't block for gaps. It's terrible. So they need to scheme the zone runs and like you said, if they can figure out a way to get to the outside, do so. But I don't know if they have the pull ability. I really don't know if they have the pull ability to get to the outside like you should be.
Mafia said the Buffalo Bills snowman is way too close to the edge. No, listen, it's a physical representation of Dawkins' career. That's what that is right now. Yeah. Okay, so the final point in terms of what we'll learn from this Colts game is we'll learn how much weight the coaches put on this victory. And here's what I mean by that. The signing of Virgil, if they decide to bring Jalen Virgil onto the 53, if they decide to get Mac Hollins more involved going forward, if they decide to dial back some of the targets to Kincaid, you know what I'm saying? This game is going to be an indicator of whether or not the team really thinks that they can do damage with the limited talent that they have.
Who's the quarterback for this game? Is it going to be Flacco?
It's going to be Flacco.
Flacco, okay. Yeah. All right, good. Well, not so good for my point, but whatever. Flacco actually has had a good career against Sean McDermott. He's 29 of 42, I believe, for 284 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's 1-2 against the Bills. But that being said, I mean, he's been no slouch against us. So my point, this is actually, I thought about this while you were talking when it comes to Josh Allen and watching college a lot. Most colleges play quarterback in the shotgun almost exclusively. Also, I couldn't look. I was trying to find it, but I can't. If anybody knows the number, can you tell me how often a quarterback that's 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" likes to be under center? It's very. I mean, to come out of a crouch to get into a pat, it takes time.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It takes a lot
of movement. Yeah.
So I mean, that's the point I want people to think about too when they want Josh to do this Madden thing and just assimilate to what everybody thinks he should be doing.
Right.
If he's comfortable throwing out of the shotgun and he's effective out of the shotgun, I'm willing to forgive all the rest of that stuff that, there's part of the playbook you got to tear out. But you knew that when you you should have known that when you drafted a 6'5" quarterback because he was a shotgun guy in college. Guess what got him to the pros? Guess what got him drafted number 7? The shotgun. It just put weapons around that that'll allow him to do what he does out of that position.
Right. I missed a few comments here. I wanted to welcome Marcus Warren, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the show, my man. Because you are in the chat now, you are part of the Podium podcast family. That's what it is. You're already in.
Sorry. Shouldn't click the button.
There is no getting out, just so you know.
We will find you.
Yeah, right. There was one more. Scott Blakely, what's going on? Welcome to the show. You are now part of the family. There is no getting out for you either. Same for you, Beth. And then let me see here. Where is it? What up, Thomas? So I wanted to read this comment from. Did I miss it? Nope, here it is. To bone his legs. I gotta say it that way. I mean, when y'all come with a name like that, I'll hit the horn for y'all too. Yeah. He says you low key cooking with these points, but if we change head coach, wouldn't that cause a butterfly effect like when we had the Rex Ryan regime?
Maybe not.
I don't think it will. I mean, one of the things that happened with every coach that we had during the drought, including Rex Ryan, was we didn't have anything to draw elite talent at head coach here.
Yeah.
The difference is Josh Allen easily. Yeah. You know what I mean? So the second Sean steps down from that, we'll have guys in college. We'll have, I mean, heck, would you bring Nick Saban up here and let him, see what he can do? I'm not saying that's my idea.
Yes, okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying I know how much you hate Alabama. I get
well,
it.
I mean, what he did in Miami when he tried it was pretty bad. So
yeah, it was. It wasn't great either. Yeah, I get that. I'm simply saying
I understand.
all the names of the names of the names. Mm-hmm. Anybody that you can think of that's out there that is an elite head coach or an up and coming head coach. Every last one of those dudes is on the table, and they would all take the job for not a lot of bread.
I would have taken the local boy Lance Leipold from Wisconsin Whitewater and UB's head coach for a while. Now he's over at Kansas offensive coordinator.
He did a great job with UB. Yeah,
he had those boys playing, and the quarterback that we had was not good. I'm sorry if you're listening. But the thing is, that was what I was yelling for when we first started the show. I was like, why are we doing Joe Brady? Why are we doing Ken Dorsey? Josh Allen. Everybody that watches the show think I hate Josh Allen. I do not. However, when you're talking about a trade piece or a free agent piece or any kind of sell, at the time when we were talking about Stephon Diggs after the 2020 season, use them. Strike while the fire's hot. But McDermott ain't trying to. He might outshine me. Can't do it. Might outshine me. So. That it would be one of the reasons why. That would be one of the reasons why I say he has to go, not based on his performance, but on the limitations that he places on the team by his ego. That's the thing that gets me. I think he could do the job, but I don't think that he wants to do the job the way it needs to be done to be successful.
Right.
That's the problem. And when Buffalo fans understand, well, this guy he's adequate, but he's not whole. He's not Belichick. He's not a guy that can bring people with him. He needs people to bring him too.
Right. Who's the coach in Cleveland again?
Cleveland
head coach Kevin Stefanski. Okay. So Kev says no Rex. Rex was forced by Pagula. We were going to hire Kevin Stefanski, the OC that became the coach in Cleveland. Would you? How do you feel about that?
What's that?
If we had hired Stefanski instead of Rex Ryan at that point?
I mean, honestly, I didn't think Rex was the best pick. I didn't like him in New York. We saw a lot of him, and we love what we saw because it was not easy, but it wasn't the hardest we ever had to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think to your point, who just said it? Kev said Rex was forced by Pagula. That's true. We were going to hire the OC that became offensive coach in Cleveland. I think Doug Whaley actually wanted. No, that was for McDermott. I was thinking about what's the guy from Cincinnati before.
Mike Zimmer?
No, maybe not. It was a black dude. What's his name?
Hugh
Jackson?
Yeah, but he was was he a head coach there?
Yeah. I
don't think it was Hugh Jackson. You thinking about Edwards?
No. It was he was gonna bring somebody in to keep what's the guy we had? Schwartz. When they hired
Oh, that was
Rex.
Hugh Jackson. Yeah, Hugh Jackson would have kept Schwartz.
Yeah, he wanted, and I wanted him when they got Rex.
Yeah, I think Hugh Jackson was the Raiders coach at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, because we came off of Mario Williams was balling. Our defense was balling. Schwartz had a wide 9. Why would we change that? Instead,
Right.
you go out and hire a defensive
Rex
coach that
Ryan.
has a completely different scheme
Yeah.
that cannot use any personnel. That tells you right there. He don't know what he's looking at. Pagula has no idea what he's looking at. It's contiguity. You got to keep going. But no, let's keep burning it all the way now. It's one thing to remove the head.
Hugh Jackson was the coach of the Browns at the time.
Browns. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Hugh Jackson.
I knew it was Ohio somewhere. Like I said, guys, I'm basketball. But anyway.
Stop it. We've all seen you on the All-22. We know you know football.
I was close enough.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think that would have been the move. It was all we needed was offense. We had the defense in place. We were winning with our defense for the most part. All we had to do was fix the other side.
Yeah.
And instead, we go and get rid of the person that made the team work, bring somebody in that nobody could figure it out.
Right.
First draft pick. Buffalo wasn't drafting. Question, this is a little quiz. Buffalo wasn't drafting me. I never played in the 3-4. I knew I wasn't going there. Who said that? Shaq Lawson.
Yep.
Our number 1 draft pick. That tell you right there, we're screwed. When I heard that, I said, yep, we're done.
Yeah. You got Mario Williams in a two stance.
The 2-point stance.
Yeah, 2-point stance.
He's like, I left Houston because of this.
Yeah.
This is why I left there. I'm leaving Buffalo.
So quick too.
I gotta go, guys. I can't stay around and in this 2-point stance and rush the passer in their way. I can't.
That's how he sounded.
That's how he sounded.
And he always cleared his throat too, like it was going to make
Look
it better.
him up, bro. That's exactly how he talk.
Why you clear your throat? It's not going to happen.
He hoping his bass gonna drop a few decibels.
He was like, I'm too big for this.
A few octaves,
throat
rather.
cold.
Yeah. So, all right. So I want to do this with everybody that's in the chat right now. Name a head coach that you would love to come in and see coach Josh Allen in this offense and this team. It don't have to be just the offense. Name a head coach that you would replace Sean McDermott with if Sean McDermott got fired. I should say when Sean McDermott gets fired. I told my man Mafia, my man Tommy, I'm not gonna hold back anymore. This is the episode of the Post Podium podcast this season where I just draw the line. And for me, I think I'm done hoping. I'm done hoping, bro. For me, I like the Amari Cooper move. I like Keon Coleman. I like Shakir. Mm-hmm. I don't think the way this offense is currently designed, it's going to be able to hold up against the Chiefs' defense. I don't think this offense, the way this defense, the way it's currently designed and the way it's currently constructed, that we're going to be able to stop the Ravens or stop the Chiefs. I mean, if the Chargers somehow find a way to break in and they're running the ball like they usually do, and they're a top. They're number 1 in points allowed in terms of defense. I'm sorry, I don't want to see any of those teams in the playoffs. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think the Bills are going to struggle. And then when you put all that together with the head coaching decisions that usually come about in tight situations, in tight games,
He be clinching up.
That butt will be puckering up.
Clinched up.
Yeah, man. So I can't, Oh, you're right, Beth. I didn't say it had to be realistic. She said Andy Reid. God, how much would you pay for Andy Reid to come here right now?
Well, there's no salary cap on coaches, so I think you could actually pay him in chicken nuggies.
He would take the job.
We got wings too, man.
We got Wendy's here too.
Here. Wendy's, we got what the guy had that rant, the boneless, the saucy nugs. We got all that. Come on over.
Easily.
We can pay him and then go get OBJ and something, buy him Bitcoin. He'd be all right. How do you even put that in salary cap?
How did we get to buying OBJ Bitcoin?
Because we're not using currency. We're not using no greenbacks. We're using other items to barter. This is great. Who else can we get? I mean, I don't know. This is crazy.
No, these coaches are going to want some ducats, man. They want some dollars.
That's Pagula's problem.
Well, yeah, right.
Which we can afford. I mean, I got money in my pocket open up. But, I mean, the good thing about coaches is there's no salary cap on anything that's not a player. You can pay whatever you want. That's why Ryan Daboll, you really want him? Pay him like a head coach. There you go.
Yeah. That's it. Mafia said, I forgot Andy Reid likes chicken nuggies.
How do you forget that? He want he go cheeseburgers and chicken nuggets. We got 4 for 4s up here.
That dude is having way too much fun. The Bundle Rooski commercial. I'm not saying that. That shit is funny. That shit is bad funny.
I mean, that's the thing. You feel good for him because he got the chance. Like you said, he got a raw deal in Philly, and he landed on his feet somewhere else. It took a little bit of time. Look where he is now.
Yeah.
To the point. Okay, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
To the point about what do we glean? I do want to mention what I was going to glean. Why I asked who was starting on Saturday or Sunday. I keep saying Saturday, but if it was Anthony Richardson, what I like about them is he has propensity to throw deep balls, just deep balls.
Yeah.
And that test, everybody's favorite. That's not where I was going with it. That's not where I was going with it. Yeah.
I mean, Flacco likes to go deep. That's okay.
There you go.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But he's more efficient with his balls. Anyway, but he likes to go. Evident by the with a straight face.
He watched you to see if you was gonna start shaking. He's like, yeah, hit him.
But no, you got you. What I want to see is what everybody wants to see quietly, except for me. Damar Hamlin get exposed. Taylor Rapp get exposed. Christian Benjamin get exposed. They want to see those guys. Can they hold up against a deep ball? Yeah. And I wanted to see that. The second thing I want to see is on the defense as well. I want to see our defensive line go up against their offensive line in that run game. That's what I want to see. I want to see a junior iteration of Baltimore and Anthony Richardson, his running with JT next to him.
Yeah.
You got to watch too much stuff. Flacco, you ain't got to worry about him running. But the thing is, the Bills had to prepare for something greater. And this would have been a team to get you thinking about what's to come.
Yeah.
So I'm upset by the fact that we're not playing, but I also know that this defensive line better show something.
Yeah. You're going into their house, and granted, the Chiefs. See, this is how far I'm looking ahead. I'm not even talking about the Colts. No, the Colts offensive line is not. They're not playing as well as they used to. They lost their offensive line coach. They're a different offensive line this year as opposed to what they used to be. Their left tackle is playing in this game. Mm-hmm. He's coming back off an injury. Excuse me. And with Jonathan Taylor, he hasn't gotten a lot of carries the past couple of weeks, but he's been dealing with ankle injuries. I mean, I think it was ankle injuries, and I think there was something else with him this season too. But he's been hurt. And I think the last couple of weeks were kind of a ramp up. I think the fact that Joe Flacco is going to be playing, and especially against our defense, they're going to run the ball. So, for everybody who's, scouting them for, their first, 8-9 weeks and saying, well, they don't run the ball that well. Everybody runs the ball well against the Bills. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's just a fundamental flaw in our defense. Everybody is going to run well against us, period. And the key is going to be, can the Bills give Flacco enough looks to deter him from throwing the ball deep? Because Flacco's not a dink and dunk guy down the field. He's not going to have, 14 play drives for, 89 yards and a touchdown. That's not how he works. Right. You know what I'm saying? He's almost Josh Allen-esque in the sense of, man, if it's open down there, I'm going to get, because I can get the ball there before a defender gets there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to see what Jonathan Taylor is capable of. I don't want to see what that offensive line is capable of.
We already saw it.
We saw it 2 years ago. Yeah, we did. I
don't want to see it again.
We did. Kevin says everyone gets over 150. Taylor will get his too. Yeah.
But the dumb thing about that is when you ask Terry Johnson about that, that's what we wanted. Who says that? We wanted to lose in that. I mean, of course, you're going to say, we're going to put more weight towards the passing and more weight toward. But nobody said, we plan on getting gashed, and we're good with that. Did you know that I forgot who I was talking to, but it was my ex account. Devin A-Chain is their second or third leading receiver. So don't tell me you didn't know that was going to happen. He's been doing it all year.
Yep.
That's what they throw the ball to.
Yep.
That's their leading yak man. Don't tell me that you were caught by surprise, because that was their. You have it on film,
right?
And I allow it. It's fine. That play where A-Chain got the touchdown, that was on Bernard and Rapp, because that was to their side. Bernard, he fell asleep. Him and Dorian Wynn went to their right. Taylor Rapp just stood there like he always does. Everybody says Taylor. He takes too long to process what's happening in front of him.
Right.
You know, if you watch all 22, make a game of it. Watch DeMar and Taylor, and this is not about DeMar, but watch who's in the screen when the tackle is made versus who's not. I've done this. I'm like, yo, where is Taylor? He's still trying to figure it out. When he's there, it's a hit, but he's still trying to figure it out.
Right.
And I can't deal with that because against good teams, Kansas City, teams that have good play actions, Baltimore, those guys, you're gonna get roasted.
Yep.
Because you can't process. Dorian Williams, you're gonna get roasted because you can't process. This is the problem going forward. I don't want to hear, oh yeah, we won because we wanted them to run. You did not need them to run that like that. Mostert was 32 years old. You got gashed by a 32-year-old man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Devin A-Chain, he's 5'8". Was it 190 or something like that?
Yeah, 190. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fast, but he's small.
Right.
There's no reason for it. I saw Ed Oliver get washed out. I saw everybody. Who was it? Ely. Somebody said Ely Anko on the broadcast. I'm like, Ely? I've heard Ellie. I've heard Eli. I don't know which one of those two it is, but I think it's Ellie. But at any rate, he's the only one I saw getting penetration into the backfield.
I want to ask you about that. Let me take a second to look at it because I want to give this person credit for the comment here. But they were talking about, they mentioned Eli Anko.
Oh, yeah. I forgot who it was. We had a little side conversation in the chat.
Oh, did you?
I responded to it.
Oh, man.
Everybody didn't see it. So go ahead.
Okay. So do you remember who it was?
I can probably find it. But
okay, so
the long and short of it was when we were talking about Quentin Jefferson, somebody asked about Elianku, and he should be upset about that pickup.
Yeah, that Quentin Jefferson got picked up and basically took. Right.
Yeah.
And both of those guys took a spot that he should have gotten. He has the past couple of seasons that he's been with the team. You and I talked about this even on the show. We've said, like, where is he? Like, what is he doing? But this year he has shown up in some really big ways, and I think so much of how Sean makes his decisions are just emotion based. You know what I mean? Quentin Jefferson got 6 sacks last year. What has he done this season?
What did he do with the Bills last time?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Absolutely nothing. And then for Jordan Phillips to, post run it back and I
don't want to run it back.
Right. The only time you did anything is right before you went to go play with the Cardinals, and then they found out you were trash and let you go, and then what? We bring you right back.
Where did he go? He went to Dallas.
He came back here, then he left again and went to Dallas, and now he's back again.
He went to Cleveland, didn't he? He got cut from Cleveland. Or was that Quentin Jefferson?
Quentin Jefferson got let go from Cleveland. Where was Phillips? Phillips was with, man, I don't remember.
Hold on, I can type faster now, so let me see.
Jordan Phillips.
Little Jordan. What kind of name is that? Let's see. Cleveland. He was in Cleveland too.
Both of them were in Cleveland?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Look at his defensive score. PFF scored.
Oh no, 20. It was Dallas.
He was yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was. Dallas.
It was Dallas.
He played against Cleveland.
Yeah.
New Orleans. He had a PFF score of 25.8 on defense. Jordan Phillips did.
Right.
25.8.
Right.
For the season so far, 29.6, 26.2 run defense. I thought we were trying to get better at run defense. Pass rush, 72.4. That means nothing to me when they're going to gash us on the ground. You're supposed to be fixing the ground attack.
Yep.
Not the pass rush. Fix that with, guess what? Your edge rushers. Not just Javon Solomon. Not just Von Miller. And don't try to tell me, I got to stay here. You want to hear it? Like to hear it, here it goes.
Let's go.
Let me just find it real fast. PFF's top 5 pass rushers on the team. On our team. Graded out. Jamarcus Ingram.
What?
Javon Solomon, because they rushed. They blitzed Jamarcus Ingram. So Javon Solomon, Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver, and Von Miller. Those are your top 5 graded out pass rushers on this team. All right?
Okay.
Total salary, $30.5 million for those 5. We have 12 sacks amongst those 5. 12. That's $2.5 million a sack. Let me get that back.
Right. Hold on. Bring me the check. I got
to
look at that again. Hold on.
Something wrong. I put too many zeros.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the thing. This is why I say to people all the time, well, look at. No, you buy in talent, then this is what you get. I will take this from a front 4 of rookies. I will take this from a front 4 of guys on a rookie contract. But you got Von Miller here. You got Ed Oliver here. You got Greg Rousseau who's flirting with a fifth-year option for $13 million. And they're getting us 12 sacks.
This will really piss you off.
What you got? Who said it? Who said
I don't want to tell you who said it.
Steve, did you?
Yannick was just cut. You want to get Yannick Ngakoue?
How? How are we getting Yannick?
You just claim him. All you got to do is claim him. That's it. He's
Are
on
we paying
waivers
him
right
in Bitcoin?
now.
Does he like chicken nuggets?
Listen, the team that let him go is hoping he clears waivers so they can put him on their practice squad.
My thing is, we have $2 million in cap space. $2.
He'll probably take one to play. What's the vet min?
Like 1.7.
Yeah, give him 1.7.
I'm not sure how it works with him.
What you gonna do with $2 million that you can't do with 200,000?
I know, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like you really can't do anything with $2 million. You might as well give it to this dude to
you
come
got
play.
Jalen Virgil starting at wide receiver. Why not? Yeah, let's go ahead and let's do that.
I don't even understand that first and foremost. Why the hell is he on the field?
You want to know why?
Why?
Because they didn't double down wide receivers in the draft.
Okay, but why is it Jalen Virgil and not Shavers?
Because, well, I'm guessing it's because Virgil is faster. I'm guessing it's because, and this is me being serious. I'm not trying to come with what you're saying. I'm guessing it's because, but I don't know their logic. I know he didn't get a target in the games he played.
You're calling up a guy to not do anything,
Just
basically.
run across the line of scrimmage and stand there.
I mean, it's the exact same thing that they were doing last year with Ilianku. Just calling him up to come up and do nothing at defensive tackle, barely even play. I mean, the Patriots claimed him. So Yannick is playing for the Patriots.
So there you go.
So they basically got a free pass rusher to come and play on that defense who's still decent as a speed rusher.
And we're talking about AJ Epinesa. We're talking about, and you notice Epinesa's not even on my list.
Yeah.
We're talking about, So, I mean, come on now.
Rousseau has now, 4.5 sacks on the season?
4.5 sacks.
Which is a half a sack more than what Epinesa has right now?
Mm-hmm. So now he is the number one. Man, we got a race going on, don't we?
Yeah, a race for the bottom.
But people are, and people are going to, I was having a conversation, and we talked about this last year even, how it was in my ex DMs, where we were talking about how the Babbage defense is starting to like the Frazier defense. I'm like, wait, what do you mean? He said, it's not aggressive. I'm like, what do you mean? I said, don't you notice that Sean McDermott was the defensive coordinator last year? He's like, yeah, but they were aggressive. I'm like, when? Because you realize Frazier had a higher blitz percentage every year except for the year before he got fired.
Right.
Every year. If you look back to his Minnesota days, they were close.
Yeah.
And I find it very funny that Frazier's numbers dipped by 10% the year before he got fired, the year before McDermott took over, because he wanted them to blitz less. Where's the twist? Where's the stunts? Where's that? What is aggressive? What's exotic?
I'll tell you where it went. So the 8-gap blitz was a staple in Sean McDermott's defense in Carolina. Mm-hmm. In Philly, they did more zone blitz in Philly, and that was Joe Johnson's thing, was the zone blitz, right? And he could do that because he had great safety play from Brian Dawkins. He had good linebackers and their defensive line like that. They had a really good defense when Sean was there. Mm-hmm. But the A-gap blitz came from Sean's scheme in Carolina. Now, the scheme in Carolina, when you ran the A-gap blitz, you had two linebackers that were good at blitzing. You had Thomas Davis that was great at shooting gaps and had speed, and then you had Luke Kuechly who could literally take on linemen and win those matchups one-on-one. And so when you set up the A-gap blitz look and you line both of those dudes up there, mm-hmm. there was a real threat because those guys were getting home. And when Sean tried to do that here, he tried to do it with Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano.
Yeah,
it ain't working the same way, baby.
No,
like to me, it's like a night and day difference of linebacker cores. You know what I mean. Okay. So I think that's why it left immediately after that, because people did love the aggressive call, and early in the season, when it was catching people off guard because nobody had tape on it, it was like, oh shoot, these guys never blitz. What, where's this coming from? But we've seen the corner blitzes before. Those have been there since day one of Sean being here.
I think that's what kept Cam Lewis and DeMar Hamlin on the team.
Yeah,
that's what they were known for at the time.
Right. So, I think later on in the season, as that blitz started to get swallowed up by good offensive line, calls and protection changes and stuff like that, I think the next season Sean just kind of figured, we might as well go back to what I do best, and that's stopping the pass. And I just name another head coach in the league right now that has built a defense like this where it's so one-dimensional intentionally, as if to say, we don't care if a team runs for 150 yards on us.
Oh, it ain't as if. They say it. Open.
Right.
Clear as day.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not even that the pass defense is so good that the run game doesn't matter. What it really is the offense outscores the other team. You know what I'm saying? It literally is the Josh Allen with as Sweat puts it, the Timu players that we have around us. He does such a good job at getting up on those bad teams that offenses are often one-dimensional. And when they're not, they almost beat you in the Dolphins, or they do beat you in the Ravens and the Texans. So it's how can I say this? The climax of this entire thought process, the root point in all this has to be whatever the design, whatever the scheme, whatever the game plan of the defense is at the beginning of the season. The thought process needs to be, will this work in the playoffs? And if what we've done in the previous seasons has not worked in the playoffs, why do you continue to employ it? You do it because you have a franchise that specializes in spinning information. And the way that they spun this is the Bills win all these regular season games. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was Joe 335 that brought up earlier, and I know he wasn't, serious with the point, but this actually, no, it might have been Leak that said, oh no, it was Joe 335 saying that if we go 8-2, it'll be the first time we go on 8-2 since 1992.
Right. You
know what I mean? This franchise is so good at spinning these kind of stats out of thin air and making people look at the glitz and the glamour and the stardom and all that kind of stuff and missing all the trash that they're walking on to get there. You know what I'm saying?
To me, to your point, the state of this team, that 8-2 stat, and this is not even a part on 8-2. It's just the fact that when we did the Mount Rushmore, when we did that show, anybody wants to check it out, go back and look at it. It was actually fun. Me AML did it. But the point is, how far back did you have to look to find the greatest at each position? We don't have a hallowed hall of talent.
Right.
You go back to the 90s, and that's pretty much where it stops. If you got Eric Moulds, you got, you might have a Fred Jackson, but even then, before that, Thurman Thomas, before that, O.J. Simpson, before that, you're talking about Joe Ferguson. You're going, it's like 2 decades between every tier of our Mount Rushmore. Right. I had to dig deep on some of those. Albert DeBinion almost made it. And a lot of people that watch the show probably don't know who that is, And even now, we're 40 years old. How many people do you know actually say they can say they sat and watched Thurman Thomas play? That was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So the fact that, you're talking about greatness from 30 years ago to, a James Cook making it, a Stephon Diggs making it. They shouldn't even be on the list if this team had a hallowed history that we're living up to. We're not the Steelers. Right. We're not those teams that have a history. We had a history, then we just fell off the face of the planet, and now we're back.
Yeah. All right, it's 7:45. So let's get into score predictions first. And then we'll get into stuff we heard and finish off the show with that.
Okay. All right. So, with Flacco playing, I'm not afraid.
Wait, Roy said, Key didn't put Kyle Williams on Mount Rushmore.
I did. Roy, I did. I put Fred and Kyle on there. I begrudgingly did because it was objective. I did.
I know how much that hurt you inside. Man.
It did. I was searching. I said, man.
Is that a beat a sweat key? Is that?
It probably is. I was like, Ted, come on, Pat. What y'all got for me? Oh man. Fred Smirlis, what you got for me? Oh,
right,
man.
right.
Okay, Kyle Williams it is. But no, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say the Bills are gonna. They're gonna find a way in that dome, the RCA dome. Josh is gonna hold the ball for 7 seconds a pop like he did at the combine, and we'll probably put up. I'm gonna say we're gonna put up 21 points. But I'm also going to say that they are going to have. I'm going to say they're going to have 2 touchdowns rushing, JT. So that's 14. I'm going to say. This is going to be crazy. I'm going to say 21. Somehow 21-20.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's a tight game.
The reason why I say that is because we don't have a gamut of wide receivers. So we're really relying on Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, who's coming off a 4 for 10 game. And a defense that we got to see if we can block DeForest Buckner, because James Cook is going to get a gap blitz again. He's going to get hit behind the line. His day's going to be long. Ray Davis is probably going to have a big play somewhere, and it's going to be a tough going for the rest of the game.
Beth says, my prediction: Bills win. Mic drop. I think that mic squeaked when it hit the ground. Right. No, the chew toy.
Oh.
I think just about everybody agrees the Bills gonna win this game, Beth.
Yeah.
No, I know you're playing, but yeah, I do think the game is gonna be tight. Roy's got the Bills winning 24-20. Mafia's got 27-13 Bills. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm right in between there. I actually think the Bills are going to score 24 points, but I'm going to go 24-17. I'm going to say a full touchdown between the two teams. I think it's going to be a very boring game. I don't think there's going to be a lot of, big plays or anything like that. It'll just be run the clock out, grind it down, and just hurry up and get out of there type of, deal. So, some of that would be smart in terms of, just hurrying up and doing whatever you got to do to get out of the building and, safely and without injury. Mm-hmm. But the other part of this too is, first, let me ask you this: does the MVP race matter to you at all for Josh Allen?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Okay. I think knowing that Sean McDermott is going to limit your progress in the playoffs, I want some kind of hardware. I need something, right? And if you don't blow this Colts team out, I think that kind of damages Josh's chances at the MVP. I mean, we are so close to having the first player in NFL history win 3 consecutive MVPs in Lamar Jackson. And if Josh doesn't do it, I don't think Derrick Henry can take that from Lamar Jackson. So if Josh doesn't do it, nobody will.
And Lamar's on a different level than he's been. So
right.
Yeah, he is the guy right now that everybody said he couldn't be.
Exactly. And what did it take? A good offensive coordinator.
That's it.
A few weapons.
That's it. That's it.
An offense that's easy for him to play in.
Yeah,
doesn't force him to run all the time.
Oh, wow. You drafted him a number 1 wide receiver in Zay Flowers. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They've actually been one of the teams that consistently draft receivers in the first round. They drafted Hollywood Brown and got him out of there. Rashad Bateman, you can stick around for a little bit because you're a good team player. You can be a great number 2.
But they tried. The thing is, they tried.
Yeah, exactly.
You're talking about even Isaiah Likely. Okay.
Right.
So, yeah, you can miss me with great drafting and all that stuff because the drafts have been okay. They're not aggressive even in drafts. They got 11 draft picks. Last year, I went through, I think we were on Rico's show, I went through the ceiling of my apartment when they traded a draft pick away in the for next year. I'm like, what the hell are we doing? Yeah. I said, what sense does that make? We have no money and you trade more stuff away?
The look on Rico's face was like, I don't know how much y'all talked before that though,
Mm-hmm.
but like the look on his face is just like, is this dude about to
about to lose my show?
right? Like he was looking for that end button real quick. He was about to get tossed. Like
I definitely was about to get tossed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just the fact that you got teams like that are passing us by.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, people want to win, but they want to win consistently. I want to win consistently, but the thing is, they want to win on their terms. And the Bills are drafting for the future, while whatever that crap is they say, but they're really not. They're not drafting anybody we're talking about.
Right. Okay, so stuff we heard. We got predictions out of the way. Bills are gonna win.
I always weasel the stuff in, but I have one piece. Rico, Pierre, y'all listening? I hope so. Is this on? Why is this Mr. Brightside thing a thing?
Mr. Brightside.
Oh, you don't know about Mr. I don't remember what the stipulations are. Please put it in the chat. What happened? What they have to do to play Mr. Brightside? But yeah. This is a song they play, I think, where they score a certain amount by the fourth quarter. They play it in the intermission, and the team, like, dances to it and stuff.
In London?
Mm-mm.
No?
Mm-mm. Here. At Highmark Stadium, yeah.
What?
Yeah. And this was brought on by I think Rico posted, I don't know if you saw, I think it's South Carolina. What the coach did, he had, the little fake, that big chain that they had with the South Carolina Gamecocks, the logo, that big plastic chain.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, guys, I heard y'all singing this song before, and I need some backup. But anyway, hit the beat. Fantasia drops. When I See You, team lost it in the locker room. They lost it. And the coach, he's a white guy, he's like mouthing it out. He's doing all this stuff. And like, they are amped. But the thing is, they're young. Mr. Braggs, I don't even know what year that song came out. But it doesn't get you going. It's like a regular, I don't even know what you rock, soft rock. I don't know what you.
It's like that song that they be singing in London, where it's just kind of.
Yeah, it's just there.
Yeah.
And I saw, and I put on Rico's thing. I said that's when Himbo became James Cook again. Because if I ever see him air a guitar to this song again in life, he will walk away right off my team. He will go back to James until I see.
No, not even. He can't go back. James, even James is a cool name. He's just Jim after that.
He's Jim. But no, he likes being called Jim. That's where.
Does he really?
That's where Jimbo came from. Evidently, his people call him Jimbo. That's his nickname. The Bills didn't give him that. That's his name. So
wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But so I'm sorry you lost the moniker Himbo until you prove otherwise. You're still my guy on the side. But this brings back.
Does that mean you getting on the Ray Davis train?
No. I will get on the Frank Gore train first. No, I'm just joking.
Whoa!
I'm just joking. No, but the thing is, these are young guys. And if you go to the stadium, we're playing stuff that we listened to in high school. We're playing these old songs. It's like, they're not pumping nobody up except for the people that's our age. And nobody on the field is anywhere near our age. Where the wobble at? Where the freaking swag, sir? Where is this stuff that gets the guys that's younger? You got guys like Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins talking about take the trap. They didn't turn this man into ATL, but we playing Mr. Brightside. Are we trying?
They can't say, well, it's a family environment and we can't, we got to be careful what we play because the red and blue game, it was kids all over the place and they was playing all the songs that the players like.
I know
there wasn't no clean stuff in there. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
have you listened to it? Have you heard it?
No.
Okay, guys, go listen to the song. I'll be here when you get back.
Mr.
I'm just joking.
Brightside.
I gotta go, but listen to Mr. Brightside and put in the comments after the show. Can you get jiggy with it?
This is gonna be bad.
It's gonna be real bad because I had to do some sleuthing. Now, like, this is what we're doing. I mean, you put the electric slide on for all I care. Just not that. I need something where the guys get going. I remember one of my games where the lights went out at the stadium. Had to call it, and both teams met in the middle of the field and they did the electric slide. They battled the electric slide in full equipment. And that's the thing. Like,
Kev says I'll pass.
No, Kev, I want you to do it. I want you specifically to listen to Mr. Brightside, Kev. Not you alone, but you. So
not everybody, just you,
just
Kev,
you,
just
and then
you.
bring it back to us what you thought.
Right.
No, I want somebody to tell the Bills stadium experience guy, you got to figure some new music out. AC/DC cool, Metallica cool. Some of the old R&B stuff cool, but no, no.
Kev says not my demographic.
I know. I know.
What do you think about this? What if they? So Beth says, I feel a Von sack coming. Flacco has a long snap time, which I agree. I agree with that. I think this is probably the game you're most likely to see one from Von. Outside of the Patriots games, I don't think you're going to see one the rest of the season. Honestly, I don't.
I think you'll sneak one in there.
Yeah,
yeah.
But this next sack will be his fourth of the season.
But the thing is, he was suspended 4 games, and he's still up there in the running,
which is crazy. One more sack, and he's almost beating the top dude.
They just doing the climb. They climb on each other's shoulders.
Right,
it's ridiculous.
Right,
yeah, it's sad.
But what if they played Mr. Brightside after a Von sack? Would that make a difference?
Listen to the song. Report back to me on that one. Listen to the song.
Oh, God. Can you just answer the question? Because I don't want to listen to Mr. Brightside.
Oh, you're going to listen to it. Because when I leave, I don't have to be at work. I don't have to leave. You forgot. I don't have to leave here.
You're going to play it during the closeout?
I'm going to play it while we're cleaning up.
You're going to tear down to Mr. Brightside.
This is ridiculous. This edifice down.
I might leave the cameras on and just let people watch us do tear down to Mr. Brightside.
I've already heard it. I've already heard it. It can't do nothing more to me.
God.
Does anybody in the chat know?
It's a hell no, right?
Does anybody in the chat know what the stipulation is for Mr. Brightside? I need to know because they have to do something. Let me see if I can look it up. Can you stall me out for a minute?
Yeah. So there were a few comments earlier that I wanted to get to. There's so many flying through here.
How can you see all these comments? I don't see anything from Beth. Does she have me blocked?
Who does Beth have you blocked?
Yeah.
No.
I think she got me reverse blocked. I have nothing on here.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
From Beth?
Yeah. Nothing. Not a thing. So if I'm ignoring you, I'm not ignoring you. I can't see you.
Well, you can't search people in the chat. You think she's avoiding you?
Might be. What did I do to you?
She just got here. How's she avoiding you?
What did I do?
Where is it? Leak says, honestly can't trust Pegula with critical decisions with this team looking at how the Sabres have been mismanaged over the years. It's tough. It's tough. So when the Rex Ryan decision came up, because this is one of the other things I wanted to say too. When Rex Ryan was hired, the reason that Pegula forced that decision the way that he did, it was Beth says she don't have you blocked.
Just know.
The reason that decision was forced was because of what happened with Doug Marrone. Doug Marrone had left such a sour taste in the team's mouth after Pegula bought the team and took over. And the perception of that looks like a tenured head coach who had not done bad. I think at the time he had the best record of any head coach during the drought at that time. That coach decides to leave right when this owner buys the team. Mm-hmm. And the perception could easily be made by anybody at that point, well, this head coach, who's the best we've had up to this point, doesn't trust the owner, right? And that could easily look like, oh, the head coach probably found out this guy's getting ready to move the team or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think the immediate need for Pegula was to win over the city, was to bring some excitement to the city, to divert the attention away from this head coach choosing to end his tenure here and leave. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, it was in his contract. It was a clause where
contract clause.
Which is ridiculous.
Shall I die, you shall be released should you want to. Like, what? Henceforth, let it be known, once I have ceased breathing, you shall be released.
Right. So I think at that point, Pegula had it in his mind he needed to make a flashy move. And unfortunately, he caught Rex Ryan at the very beginning of the CTE effects of his career. And that turned out the way that it did. I don't think that was what, Terry Pegula thought he was getting. because you really didn't see too much of that in New York. You know what I mean? Like, Rex placated to the media in New York, but they won. Like the defense was elite. They had great players, and he was doing what he was doing with a rookie quarterback and all that. So I think he didn't really need to sell anybody on himself, But here, I think the reason he does that kind of stuff is because the conversation from the owner is the city needs juice. The franchise needs juice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Rex Ryan has never been that kind of guy anywhere else publicly. Like at the podium. He's walking on with a Clemson helmet and all that kind of ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more plausible that a conversation with the owner turns out to be, well, I got to do this stuff to bring life to the city. You know what I'm saying? So that
Willie's in the corner like,
yeah. Right. That's not what
we're doing here.
That's not what I meant.
It's not a good move. Willie like, yo, no, I said the other guy. Well, you're getting fired too. Don't worry about it. What I do?
Right.
Oh yeah, and the Google search I put in, when do the Bills play Mr. Brightside? The Buffalo Bills sing along to Mr. Brightside by the Killers during the second half of games at Highmark Stadium. The Bills have played the song during blowout wins, including their 47-10 victory of the Jacksonville Jaguars on Monday night. Players who have been seen singing this song include Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, Spencer Brown, Mac Hollins, player who will be named nameless, and Josh Allen. You know that player. That's,
James Cook, by the way. James Cook.
And Ray Davis, too. No, I'm joking.
Whose name is not on this list, just so everybody knows.
But the Bills have also practiced singing the song with Dawkins and Allen being caught on video singing it. That's what they were saying. Okay, so they were singing that. I was wondering what they were singing at Dawson Knox's reception because they were getting it in. And I'm like, what is this song? But they knew the words.
They had such a great time that they decided to make it part of our games.
Let's bring it into Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'm sad. I'm so sad. I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna sing a random song on this show. I'm gonna sing like the 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton and let's see if it sticks. Making my way downtown, walking fast. There you go, see.
Junie definitely knows. I mean, you could. You know what? This is what we should do. Every time there's a game that the Bills should blow out a team and they don't, we need to sing that song.
We should.
Every time.
Every time.
Just put it out.
There we go.
Kev says, pass me some moonshine now.
What kind? I might be down for that. What kind you got?
So here's this is unprecedented territory because it's 8:03 and we're not in dire need of a close.
I'm not clinched up.
Yeah, right. You're not throwing stuff at me secretly.
I did get clinched up. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, right. You got time.
I got time.
You got time. All right. Well, we don't want to abuse that because there's also another show coming on the network.
Yes.
Right. So we are gonna get out of here. Let me pull up the music, make sure everything is set up here just right.
You pull up. Well, I got. Yeah, you do your thing.
Yeah. I'm just I'm setting this up, and then once that's all set up, you can pull up your deal there.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, that's up. You go.
Okay, so OLI, you've already won because I am behind. But you know what? I've been swigging this 50 ounces of water the whole time. And it hasn't quenched my thirst. You know what I should have had?
I know what you should have had.
I should have had some Reed's tea. Damn it, I should have had some Reed's tea because it's
right.
1 part refreshing, 1 part delicious, and 2 parts healthy. That's what you can expect when there's only four ingredients. I don't even drink tea, but guess what? I should have today, and that's a good drink right there. What are you doing? Head on over to Reed's. Get your supply by the case individual. Why would you do that? Get the case. You won't be disappointed. But what do I know? See for yourself. Reed's tea. Check the link in the description. Use the code DO to let them know who sent you.
All right. So, you know what that means, y'all. OLI hasn't been here so long. The game doesn't have the same feel to it.
He comes in just for that part.
Okay.
He's like, y'all fools ain't clean this
maybe
up
it's
yet.
like Beetlejuice. Maybe if we say it enough times, like, OLI.
He's like, here I am.
That's right. He comes squirting out of this little water bottle in front of you.
Here's outside looking in.
Is your alarm going off right now?
It did.
This is how like new this whole part of the show is.
It's wild.
Like the fact that your alarm is going off at this point. This is crazy. It is not sugar free, but it's naturally sweetened. It's naturally sweetened. I will say that. It's
That
natural
means-
sugars.
that
No
means
added
Pixie
sugars.
comes
No.
and sprinkles magic in there and boom.
Yeah. Okay, so. All right, there it is. Listen, if you're hearing the music, that means it's time for us to get out of here. this is the thing I need everybody to do right now. Everybody that was in the chat, if you've enjoyed your time with us, everybody who didn't comment or get in the chat, if you enjoyed your time with us, please hit that like button. Also, could you hit that subscribe button? And just for kicks, go and hit that bell, make that thing
Ring-a-ling-a-ling.
so that you can get notifications when we send notifications. Like, we are going to have Coach D's Corner back with us next week for sure. We didn't have him here with us today. It's been a rough week for us trying to get ready for this Colts game, and all, we didn't really have a lot of time to kind of, put that whole segment together for you guys. Do apologize about that, but he will be back with us next week. We will, the transition now is going to be, we're going to do looks ahead. I know what we used to do in terms of what went wrong or what went right in the previous game. We're going to start doing looks ahead since he's going to be here with us on our Friday episodes. So definitely looking forward to doing that.
You so man watch the Indy all 22 for nothing?
Oh, no! Now you don't have to.
I already watched all 22 Indy for last week.
Oh, you poor thing. Yeah. All right.
I dissected
I
it.
might have to get you some wings after this. Yeah. Might have to do it. Might have to go to the boys, man. All right. So listen, that's all we got for today's episode. We're happy to do this with you guys every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. We do have some big things coming up with merchandise. We're going to be doing some giveaways as soon as we get some stuff made. And then we'll have a site ready with merchandise available if you guys are interested. Hopefully you guys enjoy some of the logos that we came up with, and I think it all looks great. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So with that said, this has been the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium takes. I have been your co-host Aramis,
40 Keys,
and we are out.
Peace.
Laura said, "Oh, you definitely beat the music." Thanks a lot, calling me out. Of course. In Laura fashion.
She said, "Peace." Like she ain't gonna be talking smack in the PPP Fantasy Football League.